I can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm talking away. I'm like, what a rude bitch. She's not even answering when I'm asking. I don't know how her day went. Well, excuse me if my weekend wasn't as exciting as yours.
Well, I didn't hear anything, and I was like, "Oh, I guess he's distracted trying to put on the
Well,
little,
when you
like,
asked,
countdown."
when you asked me for like the second time, how was my weekend? I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe there's something wrong.
Well, I was like, "So how was your week?" And then I heard nothing, and then I was like, "Okay," and then the countdown started, so I was like, "Oh, I guess
Yeah,
he's
I went to Wonderland.
distracted." You went to Wonderland?
Yeah, 15,000 steps on my
Jesus.
pedometer or whatever it is.
Yeah. That's
Jesus, it's a lot of
well, yeah,
walking.
there's a lot of walking. Mind you, the last time I
Yeah,
went to Wonderland, I think it was, like, 2019, 2018. I was in high school. I got felt up by a bunch of, like, cartoon characters.
2019, and you're in high school.
Well, 2018 or 2017. Yeah, because I did 5 years.
Yeah, but
Oh, no,
2018
wait,
was
it would
only
be
like
20
4 years ago.
oh my god. Let me rephrase that.
I'm like, you wish.
Yeah, no, 1998, more like
Yeah,
it.
okay, yeah, yeah.
No, you know why? Because, this week is the 20th anniversary of that giant blackout that happened all across the Eastern
Oh,
Seaboard,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then I told my friend, I was like, "I just thought about this. If we were to go to a club right now, we'd probably be in there with people, like adults, who had been conceived during that."
Yeah, probably.
And
Yeah,
also
easy.
Madonna turned 65, this year, and her son is 16.
16?
Rocco.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, I remember
Yeah, I
a
remember that.
custody
She was in her
battle.
50s and yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "This is fucking nuts. When did I get so old?"
Was that with Guy Ritchie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't his, like, whole thing custody battle was like, "Look, Your Honor, she's gonna be dead soon."
I don't think that was exactly how they worded it. I think it was closer to, "I'm gonna be living in the UK. She can live anywhere,
Yeah.
but I want my kid with me." And then apparently Rocco wanted to live with him too, not with his mom, and Madonna was not having that.
Madonna.
And then she adopted some people, and then the grandfather of the kid she adopted was all like, "I never said she could adopt." That was a whole thing. It was amazing, yeah. It's good times.
Alright, let's start with the live opening.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling. Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or your father was right. You were an idiot and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over the top gore? Check. Over embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
That whole time I'm watching it, and I didn't even bring up my notes.
It's okay, we forgive you, ish.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That podcast live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. We come on here and record our podcast live. So how this works, we start the show by reviewing our movie that we previewed last week. And last week, we previewed 2 movies for our third and final drive-in episode of the summer. 1988's Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, and 2002's Halloween Resurrection. And by preview, I mean we checked out the synopsis, movie poster, DVD cover, taglines. We went over reviews, good and bad, critics, audience members. And then we go over what we actually remember about the movie before finally watching the trailer and predicting how good or bad we thought they were going to be. And our general consensus, we thought they weren't going to be very good, but they were going to be fun, I think was the overall consensus. Okay, so after review Sleepaway Camp 2 and Halloween Resurrection, we are going to preview our new movie, 1987's The Principal, which actually just popped up on Amazon Prime.
Oh, did it? Good.
Yeah, like 2 days ago.
I didn't want to have to go searching for it.
And The Principal was the last movie in like a 10 movie list. So it was picked like 2.5 months ago, and it was nowhere. I remember just seeing every now and again checking, and it was nowhere to be seen. And then, a couple days I checked it yet again, and it was there. And The Principal has a very special spot in my heart, but I'll get to that when we get to that movie. So we'll get to all that shortly, but first, we must do our reviews for Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers, and Halloween Resurrections. So, for the podcast, welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are so happy you came along with us. I have watched both movies. Anna, you have watched both movies?
I have.
Let's start with our initial thoughts on, because it's right in front of me, Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween Resurrection is a shit show, but a fun shit show. That's all I got for you.
Yeah, so I looked at this movie two ways. First, as a Halloween movie that takes place in one of 4 timelines. So the producers and studios are responsible for a lot of the mess that is Halloween. But as a Halloween movie, it sucked. As a Michael Myers movie, it blew. And it's not the only one. It's not the only Halloween movie that sucked. Second, as a slasher movie from that whole era of the late 90s and early 2000s, it's not as bad as people made it out to be. It had some moments, and it had some fun moments. And for a shitty Halloween movie, it was kind of fun to watch.
It was fun to, like, that was the one thing I took away from it when I watched it. I was like, you know what? This is kind of quirky and fun. It's very lighthearted. And I realized afterwards, I was like, this was really a horror, and I'm totally using air quotes for this, horror slasher movie for the masses.
Yeah.
They were doing this so that it could be marketed to the masses,
Yeah.
not just to horror fans. They weren't looking to make a great horror movie. They were looking to make a horror movie that a lot of people would want to watch. And I mean, I can't fault them for that because it's still entertaining.
Yeah. And they still want to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Busta Rhymes. Yeah.
Busta Rhymes.
And it definitely fell into that category
Yes.
of Scream. I'm not saying it's as good. I'm not. But I know what you did last summer.
Yes.
And Urban Legend that we just watched. And
it had a definite early 2000s vibe to it.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
It's just a very specific vibe. That's it.
Yeah. So before we dive into the plot, and that's being kind, the plot was a mess, yet simplistic, and maybe one of the easiest Halloween movies to follow.
100%.
Yeah.
It was very, very clear.
Yeah.
Straightforward. There was no development. There was no depth.
No,
God bless.
nothing.
We weren't looking for that.
It had a bit of storyline with the original Halloweens that they took care of very early.
Yes.
And then from that point on, it was pretty clear cut what it was doing. Okay, so before we do that, Halloween's first timeline is Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, and Halloween 5, and then probably the most confusing of all, and that doesn't mean it's not fun to watch as well, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Resurrection is not part of that timeline. Then we go Halloween, skip 81's part 2 and jump right to 2018, then Halloween Kills, then Halloween Ends. Resurrection is not part of that one. Rob Zombie did a reboot in 2007, a very confusing sequel in 2009, thanks to the meddling, those rascally Weinstein brothers, which we experienced with the Black Christmas reboot.
Yes.
Resurrection is not part of that one, nor is it part of the underrated and sometimes hated Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. Actually, almost always hated Season of the Witch, but it
I was
does
gonna
have its
say.
fans. I don't remember that movie very well. That might be a good one to check out again.
The thing I remember most about that movie is just being very disappointed because I was like, "This is a Halloween movie without Michael Myers, and
Without
I don't
Michael Myers.
understand it."
Yeah. Resurrection is not part of that one either. Now, no, Halloween Resurrection is actually part of 1978. Then Halloween 2 in 1981 skips all the niece stuff and goes right to Halloween H2. Oh my God, that movie sucked.
Mm,
And lands right here in 2002 in this movie. So never has a movie franchise said, well, that's not working. Fuck it. Let's try something else.
so many times because they've other franchises have been like, "We went down the wrong path, let's just restart."
Yeah.
A lot of them have done that. This one is just kinda like, "We're gonna forget 3 to 6.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a new 3."
Yeah. Let's take this out and then just skip that. And yeah.
Yeah.
And for the most part, it's worked. I mean, like financially, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
I came across a story on my phone, which was the top 10 horror franchises. Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th was not on that list.
Mm,
Um, I think Halloween was like fifth with
mm,
like over $800 million. So it made, it's
makes
made
sense.
some money. Yeah. Yeah. Halloween's motto should be if it's broke, don't fix it. Just get rid of it and start something new. And all right. So here we go. 3 years after the murder at Hillcrest Academy, a guilt-ridden Laurie Strode is institutionalized in Grace Anderson's sanitarium. It is revealed that the person she previously decapitated, whom she believed to be Michael Myers, was in fact a paramedic, and Michael had switched clothes with a rendered mute. Anticipating her brother's inevitable return, Laurie sets a trap on the sanitarium's roof. Okay, they should have just left Jamie Lee Curtis out of this movie.
They should have, however, they needed to explain Michael Myers.
Right. And
That
I
was it.
did, yeah,
Also, I think there were contractual obligations, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis was just like, "I'm not doing the entire fucking movie, but I'll give you, like, the beginning."
yeah.
So they
And they
did a lot
paid
of
her $3 million for that. So
and
good for
she
her.
earned every penny
Yeah.
because the poor woman is like, "Look, I already know I'm the face of this franchise, but could we not?" Um, but I like the way they did it. It was like
Well, I made a
new
note. Yeah.
new nurse, old nurse, kinda giving her, "Okay, here's what you need to know about her.
Yep.
Here's how the story went," little flashbacks. I was like, "Cool, cool, give me the story, this is great." And then we walk in and you see, like, throwbacks to H2O with the picture of Josh Hartnett on the wall and, Laurie Strode's got longer hair. I'm like, "Good for you," because obviously she's not getting cute haircuts in the sanitarium.
No.
Yeah, so I was like, it's a solid start to catch
Yes.
us up.
Yeah. And if you're gonna bring Michael back, um, that must have been the best explanation you could give the whole um yeah, the like now, despite the fact that Michael woke up in the ambulance and tried to kill her as she was driving it, was the paramedic just trying to get her attention, bashing her head off the steering wheel over?
Apparently, because that's how you say hello.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. You don't, like, just wave or, like, do pointing to the throat. None of that. No,
But for the
no.
most part, it was a decent effort to try to
Yes.
explain how this happened. Yes. And I like how they went back and they shot the scenes at the H2O ending. And yeah, so A for effort.
No, I'm like, you guys have explained it because I think they originally planned for H2O to just be a standalone
Yeah.
with the option for a second movie because that's what they do. They're like, "And we're gonna put in options into your contract." Then it made money, and then they were like, "Well, fuck, we should make a sequel."
Yep.
And then they did.
Yeah.
So they had to figure out a way to restart it again.
Now, Michael appears and chases Lori to the rooftop where her trap works and temporarily incapacitates Michael. Again, it's one of those things where he just stepped in the exact
Yeah.
right moment. But yeah. But I can see now at this point of the movie why Jamie Lee Curtis did it for the money. I can see her reading this part and going, well, at least they're paying me $3 million. However, Lori's fears of killing the wrong person again get the better of her when she attempts to remove his mask to confirm his identity. Michael stabs and throws her off the rooftop to her death.
Mm.
I'm embarrassed, but I think I actually might have thought this was this was clever back in the day. Like,
God bless.
yeah,
I didn't think it was clever. I thought it was like super cliche, and I was like, okay, fine. Like back in
yeah,
the day and now, I'm just like, sure. But I was like, I mean, she's in a sanitarium. It's not
yeah.
like she has a bunch of tools she can work with.
No, no.
Although the slightly unbalanced guy who's obsessed with serial killers, he has a lot of arts and crafts stuff. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
yeah. He could have taken some of his stuff, and I did like
Concerning.
that character. I did like that whole
Yeah.
part.
With
And
the
that was
security
great.
guards and
Yeah.
yeah, love it.
On now, like even that, I made a note with because the one guy's getting candy because he's
Mm,
hungry, and he hears some scuffling down the hall. Walks down the hall. The dryer's going.
yes,
Opens the dryer, finds the head,
of
and
course.
then backs up and trips over the decapitated body. I'm
Correct.
like, dude, how the fuck did you not see that body?
Well, the overhead light, the one and only
Yeah,
overhead light was
it must have
swinging.
swung the wrong way. Yeah, and he didn't
So
see
he
it.
just kept
Fair
missing
enough.
it when the light was lighting the body up.
On Halloween, college students Sarah Moyer, Bill Woodlake, Donna Chang, Jen Danzig,
Danzig?
Jim Danzig, Jim Morgan, and Rudy Grimes win a competition to appear on the internet reality show called Dangertainment, directed by Freddie Harris and Nora Winston. We're introduced to the students. Great introduction. Get a feel for who's going to make it, who's going to be like first to go type thing.
Mm.
And I totally got a Scream. And again, I'm not saying this movie is as good as Scream. Calm down, people. Everyone getting their
Have
panties in
you
a
been
bunch here.
getting, like, angry letters about this?
But you know what? I know what you did last summer, urban legend vibe with the college and that type of thing.
Yeah.
The students have to spend a night in Michael's abandoned childhood house in order to figure out what led him to kill. However, while setting up cameras throughout the house in preparation for the show, cameraman Charlie is killed by Michael, who has returned to Haddonfield. Charlie getting killed had to be the longest, slowest death
Oh god.
ever.
I
Like,
like how he just kinda stared at Michael as Michael was very slowly walking towards him.
yeah, like maybe if they showed that Freddy had that costume first,
Mm.
and maybe he thought it was Freddy, that would, because yeah, it would, like I wrote down, like, did Charlie forget how to run? Oh no, he was cornered, wasn't he?
He got cornered.
Yeah,
He
he
didn't
got cornered.
start
He didn't start
cornered,
cornered. Yeah.
but he just kept walking backwards as Michael was advancing and not trying to, like, get away from him. I was like, "Are you just" like, it's a hallway,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "I'm gonna just put myself in the corner
Yeah.
of these 2
It's like he
walls."
knew he was cannon fodder.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Like, I'm not fame enough to survive. Guess I might as well stand here for a few minutes.
Yep, and
By
then
this.
Michael framed up the camera, and everybody was pleased.
Yep. And Tyra Banks, Nora, yeah, on Charlie's ass the whole time, makes the longest latte ever.
Can I tell you how much that latte angered me? I was like, first of all, it does not take that long to pull an espresso.
No.
Second of all, you don't even see her frothing the milk, but all of a sudden she's pouring warm milk. I was like, fine, whatever. I'm not even that mad about that. And then she puts on like a cup of whipped cream, which I'm like, girl, come on. And then it's just messy. And she's dipping something in it and stirring
Yeah.
it around. I think it was like a piece of chocolate. I was like, why?
Yeah. She's one of these people that go to Starbucks and
Oh, she's a half calf.
yeah,
Half
it's like,
calf, 1.5 pumps of cinnamon dolce, 1.5 pumps of thing, and then just like a half pump of simple syrup, but not too much. She's one of those.
yeah.
I hate those people.
And she's just dancing. And I make lattes every day. I dance, I shake my ass, not for that long. Come on.
Well, I love that they're in like a shed/garage that's falling down.
Yeah.
Have all this incredibly expensive, and then there's that one espresso machine.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "What?" And the milk for the to steam the espresso was in that little thermos. So I
Yeah.
was like, Why don't you just go to the coffee shop? Like, I don't understand. That was, anyways, it's fine.
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Okay. I told him not to bother me.
I didn't hear what he said, but I heard him say it.
Yep. All right. On Halloween night, equipped with head cameras, Sarah, Bill, Donna, Jen, Jim, and Rudy enter the house and separate into 3 groups to search for clues. While Sarah messaged friends, Miles, Deckard, Barton, and who watches the live broadcast during a party. During the search, Michael suddenly appears and kills Bill. Okay, so Thomas Ian Nichols was Bill. For those listening, that is the guy from American Pie.
Yes, the one who cannot act,
Yeah.
no matter what he's in.
Yeah. And his death was okay. And if anyone's listening, this is where American Pie is looking in a mirror and Michael comes bursting through it from the next room and
Yes.
grabs Bill. Do you know how embarrassing that would have been if Michael burst through the mirror and Bill wasn't there? That's what I actually thought. Like, embarrassing. Like, would he just be like, huh?
Interesting. You do realize he would have seen him or not?
What's that?
Through the mirror, he would have seen him, especially if it was an older mirror.
Didn't he come through the wall?
No, he came through the mirror.
Oh, like behind the.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
he was in
like
the room.
he would know he was in the wall and
Oh,
through the. Haven't you ever?
no.
I was about to say, haven't you ever been in a wall? Never
No.
mind. I have.
We had Legos and stuff. I
No,
didn't
they
live like
never.
people under the stairs.
Shit, that's another one. I love that movie.
Actually, I like that
think.
movie too. I remember. Yeah.
I
Yeah, this
remember
whole
liking
thing
it.
is-
Yeah, this movie, honestly, every time I see an old movie that I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, wait,
yeah. It
I
might
don't
not
wanna
be that
ruin
good
it.
anymore.
This is terrible. This is why I haven't watched Roadhouse again.
Oh, I bet it's bad.
Probably
In a good way. I bet it's bad in a good way.
I'm so afraid to watch it. Anyways, that's not the point. The point
No.
is, first kill of like the young-ish teens. It was all right. It wasn't the greatest. It wasn't very elaborate. It's just kind of like he bursts through and kills him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm noticing like, holy God, that's not my lights. I went swimming today and it was very sunny. I refuse to get burnt again. This is a lot of sunblock.
Oh,
Yeah, like if you like you could see like it's really, really white.
yeah. But
yeah,
you're also
me and
just
my
really
me and my-
pale, so
thanks, buddy. I heard them the first time. Oh, me and my white man problems. Jesus Christ.
it is so hard being a cisgendered heterosexual white man.
I know.
My God, I don't know how you make it through the day.
Everyone bitching at me every time I leave the house. I have to hide back in with my pool and sunblock and so I don't go out anymore.
All
All
I
right.
wouldn't either if I were you.
So he was in the wall and came through. He didn't come
Yes.
through another room. Okay.
No.
So he knew what he was doing. I thought he guessed.
No, he knew
Okay.
exactly what he was doing.
Okay. Donna and Jim discover a wall filled with fake corpses and realize that the show is a setup before the former is killed by Michael. Okay, first, Jim, Luke Kirby, was hitting on Donna, Daisy McCracken, nonstop.
Yes.
And she was like, no, you're a loser.
Yes.
But they have some sexual banter.
Mm-hmm.
I did write down that one Jim said, like, great legs. What time do they open?
Yes.
She gives him the finger and he said that'd be 1:00. That was clever.
Yeah.
For a douche.
Here, the dialogue of this movie is not the worst.
No, not at all. No, it's
There's
not.
some very clever stuff in it.
Yep. And some very clever reactions. And yeah, that's what I mean. It's not because when we went over those Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, they were ruthless on this.
They really were. They really, really were. But I think it's also because we kind of understand the time And
Yeah.
we also understand the marketing of this because once you start watching this, especially if you're a horror fan or a slasher movie fan, you know that this movie was not made for those fans.
No.
This movie was made to appeal to a mass audience,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
okay.
People looking just for a scary movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but, like,
You're
this
looking for a
movie
Halloween movie.
this is not it. If you're
No.
looking for an actual scary movie, this is not it. If you're
No.
looking for a movie that's gonna make you, wanna hide behind a pillow or, get you to the edge of your seat, this is not that movie.
No.
It's a fun movie,
Yeah.
but
It's a
it's
fun
not.
slasher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that deep.
No. 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 Um yeah, and of course, as soon as she thinks no one is looking, she whores it up. Donna is like, no cameras down here. Let's make some coitus. That isn't a quote from the movie. Don't
No.
well, I'm not watching that. Jeez, they just said the
Although
dialogue was good.
although Jim was very into the super smartness.
Yes,
Like, when
yeah.
they started making out, he's like, "Say
Say
something
something
smart."
smart. Yeah.
It's like, "What?"
Oh,
But okay. Go Jim, who's played by Luke Kirby, who is a Canadian actor. Look at me learning things.
he's had an okay career. When I was doing this, he's done some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the party, Deckard and other party goers witnessed the murder, but only Deckard realized that it was real. Yes, we also have Deckard, which is an online name. Back in the day, if you remember, online interaction wasn't as fluid or like as we learned from hackers back in the day. Going online, you needed a cool nickname.
Yeah. Everybody had to have their own handle.
Yeah.
Like, you couldn't just walk out there with your own name. It's
No.
crazy talk.
Yeah, you'd be a loser.
Such a loser. And then, your email address also had to have
Something cool. Yeah.
something cool in it. I
Yeah.
did not do that, and I'm still using the same email address to this day because I refuse. I refuse to change it. Everybody's like, "Hotmail."
Yeah. I have
Oh
a
my
Hotmail.
god.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, Hotmail.
Yeah.
You got a problem with?" I got a Gmail too, but I don't use that one. It's the one I put down for all the people who are like, "Can we contact you?" Sure, sure. But anyways,
I've even had people in where I'm just signing stuff, doing
yeah.
things, and they're like, Hotmail. What's up,
Do you
Grandpa?
do you know how many times when I'm buying stuff and they're like, "Do you have an email for our rewards program?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, I do." And then I tell them my email and I'm like, "at hotmail.com." They're like, "Really? Hotmail?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm old as shit. Let's go."
Yeah.
They're like, "You can get a Gmail one for free." And I'm like, "You know what, little girl? Just ring through my purchase.
Yeah.
Give me
Yeah.
my
Mind your
point."
business. Meanwhile, Freddy enters the house dressed as Michael in order to scare the competitors. He is
Mm,
followed by the real Michael, whom he mistakes for Charlie. This was stupid yet
so stupid.
funny.
Yeah, but
I know what they were going for, but when Michael is like, is this motherfucker talking to me? Like Michael got so confused, he's like, okay, I guess I better go to the
he was like, "What?"
garage.
But here's my Busta Rhymes through this entire movie is a
I
gift.
did enjoy Busta Rhymes in this movie. He was awesome.
'Cause there were a couple glimpses where you're like, "Okay, this is him, like, being an actor." And then there were other times where I'm like, "The director told you to camp it up, didn't they?"
Yeah.
Like, to
Like
be
when he's
that
watching that
sleazy
kung fu movie
producer. Yeah, oh god,
and
yeah.
that someone knocked the door and he got all pissy.
Yes.
Just watches
But
kung
then he gets
fu.
really tender when he's talking to Sarah at the door.
Yeah.
When Sarah's like, "I'm gonna drop out," and he's like, Sarah, fear is you gotta use fear to motivate you. It pushes us." And he gives this really great, like, heartfelt speech, and then he's like, "Fuck, I'm a genius.
Yeah.
That was
Sometimes I come
great."
up with some great
Yeah.
shit.
And he's like, "I'm gonna pat myself on the back." And then he
Yeah.
pats himself on the back. And I was like, "Oh my god." Then he goes
Oh,
back and he's like, "I'm gonna watch some Wei Chung." And I was like, "What the fuck is I love him
yeah.
so much
Yeah,
because
he
he's
definitely helped this movie. I'm sure a
oh,
lot of people thought
100%.
he hurt this movie, but when you're
No.
watching it for what it is, he definitely helped this movie. Yeah.
Yes. If you watch this movie with a sense of humor, you're gonna be like, "Busta, you're my favorite."
Yeah. Which also means though, Freddie sent Michael to kill Nora. because he demanded Michael go out to the garage and
Mm.
help Nora.
True
And Michael
story.
did.
It's all Freddy's fault.
When Rudy, Sarah, and Jim find Freddy in the Michael costume, he reveals the scheme to them and begs them to cooperate, telling them that they will all be paid well if the show works out. I love the line. I wrote it down. Where is it? You hitting me like I killed your mother. Because he's like, damn, man, you're hitting me like I killed your own mother. After Freddy leaves, the trio decide to gather up the rest of their friends and leave. Actually, doesn't Jim agree to stay for the money?
Jim does not decide to leave, but nor does he decide to stay. He just says, I could use the
I could
money.
use the money. Yeah,
But he doesn't say yes or no either way. He's just kind of standing there.
right. This is when Jen discovers Bill's corpse, and Michael decapitates her in front of Rudy, Sarah, and Jim, who soon
Yes.
realize that it isn't Freddy. I did like this because this isn't the first time Jen screamed like this. She
No.
did it as a joke. She did it because she was scared.
Jen is very much an attention seeker, and she's
Yeah.
hamming it up, and she's like pushing the envelope, and she's like, what's going to get me more airtime? Which fine. But then when she screams and everybody's like, yeah, okay, whatever, like coupled with the whole Freddie and Michael's outfit, they're like, sure, sure. And she like actually looks terrified until, her head. And I will admit, one of my favorite things in a movie is a decapitated head rolling down the stairs
Yeah. Yeah. It's
with the
cool.
bounces. It's one of my favorite things. And this one was actually pretty good. And you could see that they put money into the FX
Yeah, because
because
her
that
face
head
was
was actually
still
really good.
it
Yeah.
was, yeah, because she was still in mid scream.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
it
was
was
like,
really good.
that's very nice. That's very nice. Also, we need to flag that she comes out of a room where her and Rudy were smoking up, which is fine.
That was funny.
Yeah, when she opens the door, a plume of smoke comes out. I was like,
Yeah,
she was hotboxing,
yeah.
and I appreciate her for that.
And then Rudy's like, "I'm glad there's no cameras in here," and she's laughing. She's like, "Dude, we're wearing cameras on our head." They just start laughing.
And then they just start laughing.
That was a good scene too.
Yeah.
Michael proceeds to kill Jim and Rudy before chasing Sarah upstairs. Okay, Rudy put up a much better fight than Jim. Michael just
Yes.
picked Jim up by the head and crushed his skull.
Yeah, Jim just stood there and looked at him.
Yeah. Rudy with those knives put up a decent fight,
Mhm.
but he
I
did not
appreciate
win.
him.
Yeah.
No, he got a
Locking.
knife to the chest, no? Yeah, and it went right through the door. That
Yeah.
I liked.
Yeah, that was good too.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's not none of the kills were like the greatest kills, but
No,
most of them
there
were
were some
decent.
solid ones, yeah.
Yeah. Locking herself in a bedroom, Sarah begs Deckard to help her. As the other party goers realize that all the murders are real, Deckard begins to message Sarah Michael's locations to help her avoid him. I thought this was a clever, fun twist to the movie.
Mm,
Since they had access to all the cameras, and he could do that for her. What was unfortunate was the way they used the texting. It was if
yes.
it was real time, something we
Yeah.
can't even do now. Thank
Nope.
God.
Nope.
But I know
We've
they were
only got
using
the
it
3
for
dots now. We don't get words popping up letter by letter.
yeah,
That used to
yeah.
drive me bananas.
And I knew they were using it for dramatic effect, especially when it's spelled he is in the house
Yeah.
one letter at a time. It didn't ruin it for me, but I did notice it.
That's the one thing about the tech. Don't get me wrong, some of it was fantastic. Like when Nora makes a phone call or answers a phone call, her cell phone. I was like, "Oh my god, I remember those cell phones. They were so cool." Um, and then they weren't. And you see like the computers are literally the size of a desk. Like
Yeah.
they're ginormous.
Yeah.
And then that person, because it wasn't a cell phone. That's like a personal the thing that what's her name was using, Sarah. It's oh god, it was
Like a
like a personal
BlackBerry? One of those
it's kinda
no,
like a
one of those note things.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a personal planner,
Yeah.
like digital planner.
Which I
So
don't think back then would have
no,
worked. No, or even been a thing.
it they had just been introduced, I think, and I think a lot of people did not understand how they worked.
Yeah.
So you had to be connected to the internet, which I thought was super funny because I was like, "Girl, I don't know if this is in the was there Wi-Fi at this point?
2002. I'm sure. I don't know because I know Wi-Fi. When was good question? When was Wi-Fi?
Oh yeah, no, there's Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Released for
yeah.
consumers in '97.
Look at that.
It took a lot though, and it was those big.
Yeah.
That had like a bunch of
It was
antennas.
but anyways, I appreciate it. It lost some like of the thing, but I mean, you see this stuff and then you're like, wow, like Deckard or Miles or whatever, he's at a desk, at a computer, and he's playing and I was trying to remember, I was like, was live streaming that smooth at the time?
No,
This
was
kind
not.
of stuff
Yeah, and
drew me
that's
out
the
a little bit.
Drew. Yes, didn't make me hate it, but it
No.
did make me question it.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
had a couple moments where I was just like, No, you couldn't live stream a show." And also
not
I
that
was
smooth.
no, and I was also just mad at Freddie and Nora because those are 2 of the shittiest producers/directors I have ever seen in my life, especially for a live broadcast, especially.
Leaving on the Made in Taiwan stuff.
Well, not even the leaving they weren't directing any of the shots. They
No,
weren't deciding what was gonna be the, they just had all feeds going, and I was like, "We didn't have, like, super fast speed internet back then."
no, that was like that Big Brother used to do that, did they not?
They
But that
still do.
wasn't back in 2002. That was
No,
much later.
that was much later, but
Yeah,
I like, through that I actually got angry when they're pouring the wine in the gr and not even paying attention to what's on the screen. I was like, "You are doing a live broadcast and you're not even looking to see
yeah.
what the feed is?" I was so mad. Anyways.
Um. Okay, where are we? Who got killed here? No,
Jim got his face crushed, then Rudy got stabbed through the door.
right. Sarah runs into Freddy just as Michael finds him and stabs the ladder. Being Freddy. Freddy character was great, like better
Yes.
man than me. Like he's apologetic. He tells her he had no idea after he found out Michael's room
Yeah.
was under the house. I'd be like, out of the way, bitch.
Oh my god, but did I don't know if you noticed this, but I did. Every time they tried to move quietly through the house to avoid Michael after they get a message from Deckard.
Oh, you could hear um um the like you mean the creaking in the floors and stuff?
No, no, no. That's not what I noticed this
Oh,
eventually 'cause
the sound when he was sending the message?
nope. Also, that annoyed me. I'm like, "Girl, put it on silent."
Yeah.
Because there was a ding every time.
Yeah.
No, Busta Rhymes, AKA Freddy, would crouch.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time he was like, "Okay, let's try to get out of the house." He would immediately crouch and
Yeah.
they'd walk
I didn't even notice that.
I noticed it the first time and I was like, "Oh, that's adorable." And then he kept doing it. And I was like, "Sir, do you think that makes you quieter?"
Yeah, because it's not like he's real small. You could crouch all you want, dude.
You can crouch on you're still just as heavy. The floors are still gonna creak. Her
Yeah.
phone is or her planner, her digital planner is still gonna ding.
Still gonna ding.
But by all means, feel free to crouch. But he kept doing it, and I loved it, and I don't know if the director noticed it, or if he encouraged it, or he gave up because he just kept doing it, but
Yeah.
I loved it. So ridiculous.
Yeah, because Freddie even got Michael because Michael chases Sarah up the stairs.
Yes.
Freddie even got Michael to chase him away
Yep.
from her.
Yeah, something
Where
you would never do.
I would use Sarah as a shield
Of course.
because I identify as someone who wants to live. This is where Freddie uses his kung fu also.
Yes, and it
Which
was so good.
Yeah, which by the looks of it, it was self-taught
100%,
from
yes.
the movies he watched. Because Michael whips Busta Rhymes around. Wow.
Mm,
And I wish they leaned more into that with Michael. Like more times than not, he's being thwarted by people with a push or a kick. Like the new Halloween movies, like the first 2018, especially Halloween Kills, that is a Michael you do not want to run into.
yeah.
Um, I know a lot of people don't like kills, but they're all stupid. Sarah
Well, how you
runs
really
into
feel.
Sarah runs into the tunnel and finds an exit leading to the garage, where she discovers Nora's body. Michael again arrives and attacks Sarah, but a still living Freddy finds him and fights Michael as an electrical fire starts in the garage. I like electrocuting his balls. I
Mhm.
don't know if blood works like water because he threw it into the thing into the
Yeah,
pool of
but
blood.
I mean, blood is a lot of water.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not a scientist. I'm not even
I'm not
really
a
smart.
scientist either, but if someone is a scientist who is listening to this right now, could you please tell us
Yeah.
if blood is a conduit for electricity? I feel like it is, because when I go to donate blood, if I do not drink enough water, my blood is too thick, and it takes forever for it to, like, be siphoned off. However, if I drink a lot of water, then it's a lot easier and it flows a lot easier, which I think has to do with just water density. So I'm gonna vote
Well,
for
maybe.
yes.
Yeah, maybe it
It
can.
can conduct electricity. Whether or not that's true, who knows? But maybe someone will tell us.
Sarah could have made it out of the garage.
100%.
She took a long time, enough time for Michael to get out of underground through the house and out into the garage.
She could have gotten out of the garage before that,
Yeah,
but of course she had to knock over the lawnmower, so that only the handle was over the piece of furniture or the box that she threw on top of the tunnel. But whatever, it's fine.
yeah,
Here's where I got really annoyed and angry. There's a mixing board on a very thin
yeah.
metal shelf. I know how much both of those weigh. That girl should have been able to easily kick it off of her.
Yeah,
Like,
they don't
that's
weigh very much.
at the most, she had maybe 20, 25 pounds on her.
Yeah,
Maybe. And her upper body wasn't, like, tied down, so she had a range of motion.
yeah.
But no, she laid there struggling for no good goddamn reason. That really pissed me off. Just thought I'd share.
Oh, I forgot to put it up.
You're fired.
Sorry,
Don't
Halloween.
worry.
After electrocuting Michael, Freddy carries Sarah to safety, leaving Michael to die in the burning garage. Later, Freddy and Sarah are interviewed by the local news, during which Sarah thanks Deckard for saving her life, and Freddy assaults the reporter. Verbally, maybe assaulted the
Yeah.
reporter, or more like a loud response.
Very loud
It is
response of
Busta
like,
Rhymes.
"The fuck is wrong with you guys?" There were a lot of motherfuckers in this, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that, because if you're in this kinda situation, Imma throw out motherfucker a lot.
Oh, I'd be swearing so much.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Meanwhile, Michael is presumed dead and his body is taken to the morgue. This coroner was freaked out when she found out it was Michael Myers, and rightfully so. I'd
Yes.
be like, nope, I'm the fuck out.
Yep.
Like, you know, he's opening his eyes and coming back to life. She knew it. You could see it in her face. Like, I know if I open this bag, this fucker's eyes are going to open.
She's like, "He's gonna jump out. He's gonna jump out."
Yeah.
Mhm.
However, as the coroner prepares to examine his body, Michael suddenly awakens.
Yes.
And that is the end of Halloween Resurrection. All right, we are doing our new
You're muted again. You're muted. I cannot hear you.
did I hit it? I must have hit it
I
somehow.
think you hit it.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, "We're doing our new," and then nothing.
We're doing our new scoring system. I did find
Yes.
out a couple of cheats that we can do if you want to use it, because basically it's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Mhm.
If you want to give it like a 2.5, like you can say rent it at a discount. If you want to give it that little lower
Yeah.
rental, or like if you really like it, instead of just buying it, rent it at a premium, which is like $30 or $20 or something. But so let's try it. We now score it by buy it, rent it, stream it, skip it. And still think we should have a special badge of honor for So Bad It's Good.
And we will.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So what's Anna's score on Halloween Resurrection?
Um, stream it. Stream it. It's ridiculous. It is fun. It has some very mm, it has some moments of very clever dialogue. Overall, it's a fun time, but it's not a good time. You know? Like, it's not something that you're gonna put on the shelf and be like, "This was a classic. Let's watch it again." I will watch this again 100 times. Why? Because Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is entertaining. This movie is entertaining. But if you're a horror fan or a slasher movie fan, like, this is not going to satisfy you, and that's okay. So I'd say stream it. If you haven't seen it before, definitely stream it.
Yeah. Okay. My score, like I said before we started going over the movie, as a standalone slasher flick, it's okay. As a Halloween movie, it kind of sucks. Fact is, it's a Halloween movie that kind of sucks, but it's also kind of fun to watch. You will remember the online camera watching rage of the late 90s, early 2000s. Busta Rhymes is awesome, cheesy, but
Mhm,
awesome. The cast is great for some good old nostalgia, and they can act for the most part. The dialogue is fine. Yes, this movie is the most distant from the actual Halloween storylines, any of them, but it's not a waste of time. Laurie Strode, as downright stupid as it is, Michael is in it, and so is his house. HBO didn't even have all three. At least you get Laurie Strode, Michael, and his house.
mhm.
Not at one moment did I think I was wasting my time. Was it bad? Yeah. Should they have resurrected Michael one more time for this movie? Probably not, but they did. And if you're a fan of Halloween movies, you can't not include this in a Halloween marathon or a Halloween movie rotation. You'll find a bad Halloween movie, but an okay slasher flick. And you will find some fun and familiarity that definitely outweighs the skip it rating. So I do say as well, stream it.
Mhm.
Yeah, because if you liked it back then, you'll get a kick out of Michael Myers, albeit not the best Michael Myers. If you're a fan of
Yeah.
Halloween but remember hating Resurrection, I would say give it a shot with expectations really low.
Yes, and also I noted this actually when I was watching it. I was like, "Is Michael Myers skinny now?"
Yeah, he's not as. I
He
think
wasn't
that's the
as
new movies.
broad-shouldered or
No,
as and I was like, I
but he
remember him
wasn't that.
being thicker.
Yeah, I remember in H2O, I think we said the same thing. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't as because we compared
imposing.
it to the new movie where he is a much bigger dude.
Yeah, he's a lot more solid
Yeah,
in the newer but in this one, I was like, "You seem a little dainty."
yeah, yeah, not as over. Like I mean, he's got a mask and a knife. I mean,
Well,
but
yeah, but he's not physically imposing other than the whole, "I'm gonna kill you and not be stopped."
yeah,
But he's like, if you just see him, he's not physically imposing. So I was just like, I
yeah,
remember you being like broader in the shoulders and a little thicker, but okay.
yeah. Yeah, I still say they should have left Laurie Strode out of it and just bypassed her and went like Jason Voorhees, like, yeah, she did kill him, but he's back somehow, so deal with it.
Honestly, if they had just had a conversation, like if it
Yeah,
was a couple cops or whatever, just being like, oh, we should probably keep an eye out since, Michael Myers, then we never found him after the last thing. Yeah, he knocked out the paramedic and replaced him, blah, blah, blah. If they had just had that conversation and then just made it a Michael Myers is going home
yeah,
kind of vibe, it also would have worked, and poor Jamie Lee Curtis wouldn't have had to do this movie.
no, and you would have saved 3 million.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah,
But nope, they wanted to insist that she be in it.
could it be rebooted? Knowing Halloween, it probably will be.
Honestly, the concept is super fun,
I wrote that down. Yeah,
and I think right now we have the tech that it's super plausible.
yeah.
Like, back then, this concept was far-fetched and it seemed unreal. Now,
Oh, totally.
100%
Yeah,
perfect timing to do a reboot for this.
it'd
I'm
make a
not
great.
suggesting it.
No, but it'd make a great like Friday 13th, setting up cameras at Crystal Lake.
Oh, fuck yeah.
especially with now the political climate and gender controversies. If you played it smart and you go right down the middle, playing both sides fairly, and throw in some boomers and Xers and millennials and Gen Zs, that could be a really fun movie.
So what you're saying is you want a battle of the generations?
Yeah, and then
Who
just
will
have
survive?
Jason Voorhees just lopping up or Michael Myers. I don't care.
Somebody's just killing everybody.
That could be fun. All right, so we both said stream it for Halloween Resurrection,
Correct.
which brings us to Sleepaway Camp 2: Unhappy Campers. I have watched it. My initial thoughts: where are all the short shorts and crop tops for the boys? I did not see one outline of a cock once. The fuck?
So disappointing. So
Remember Ronnie?
disappointing. However, TC shorts were a little short.
A little
Not short
short.
shorts.
Not like
But
old
they
Ronnie's.
No, not like Ronnie's, but they did show off his very muscular thighs.
Yes.
I
yeah.
actually made a note where I was like, "TC's got some thick thighs." Um, and I appreciate that about TC, who now is an old man. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's fine. Whatevs. I had I have thoughts about this movie.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's also too bad. It's too bad Felicia Rose, who played Angela in the first movie,
Mm.
couldn't work out with this movie. If you're listening to this, we did in the trivia part of our live show. Angela did read it. She didn't really hit the comedian parts or comedy parts, and she was getting ready to go to school, I believe. And that's our trivia segment as part of our live recording every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Check it out. It was not as serious as Sleepaway Camp, which is weird because Sleepaway Camp was too cheap to be actually taken as serious as it wanted to be. But yeah, I have some thoughts too. Like this
Yeah.
movie was definitely self-aware and did not take itself serious.
Oh, this movie was straight up going for laughs.
Yeah.
Straight up going
Okay.
for laughs.
So let's dive into Sleepaway Camp 2: Unhappy Campers. 5 years after the events of the first film, a girl named Phoebe tells Phoebe. Was it Phoebe?
It's Phoebe, but they call her Phoebe.
Phoebe tells a group of boys at campfire about the killings at Camp Arawak. Her head counselor, Angela Baker, posing as Angela Johnson, forces her to go back to the cabin. After the pair get into an argument, Angela bashes a log over Phoebe's head and then removes her tongue for having a filthy mouth. So this movie did not take any time into diving into the killing. Oh, hold on. I got to change this. Oops, wrong one.
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Hey, there we go.
go. Yeah, it didn't take long at all.
No, it went straight in.
Yeah.
Straight in. And I only have one complaint about that murder. There was not enough blood. Because when you
With
cut
the
off
tongue
someone's
coming out?
tongue,
Yeah.
there's like a waterfall of blood.
Yeah.
So I was very upset that there was not any
And
blood coming out
I don't
of
know
her
if
mouth.
anyone knew that, but yeah, for this movie, because what they did later on, they should have just had someone with just had it just spraying everywhere.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
100%. Like when she moves her hand away and drops the thing, they should have like just before there should have been a quick cut and her mouth should have just like bubbled over with blood. They should have
Oh
just
yeah.
filled her mouth with blood and just have her open her mouth and let it pour out.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was my one and I was like, there should be more blood. Basic anatomy.
And where the first movie made it a secret and a reveal, this movie makes no attempt to hide who the killer is. None.
Nope. That actually surprised me. I was like, oh, we're right out the gate.
Yep.
We know it's her. Okay.
The next day, campers Molly, Allie, Mare, Demi, Leah, and sisters Brooke and Jody Shote. What were they called again? The Shote sisters?
Yeah, but then they called them the Shit Sisters.
That's right. Question Angela on the whereabouts of Phoebe. She tells them she had to send her home. I already didn't like Angela. Like, she yelled at those girls for having their titties hang out. And it's like, fuck you, Angela. They're not hurting anyone.
Okay, but I will say this.
So gratuitous.
I understand that Allie is supposed to be a very promiscuous character. But you're not gonna just walk around with your titties all free swinging.
And you wonder why I had these delusions as a child.
Yeah, I understand it now, and if young men and boys are watching movies like this, they're sitting there going, "Well, they all sleep in the nude," and while some women do sleep in the nude, I can tell you right now, if you have any manners and you're sleeping in a room with, like, 8 other girls, you don't sleep in the nude with them in the room.
Not if you're Allie.
Not if you're Allie, apparently, and then she, like, gets out of bed, she doesn't put on a t-shirt. No, she hangs it around her neck,
Yep.
but still, free titties.
Yeah, and I think Mare also showed her titties in this scene. There was a second girl.
Does she?
Yeah, because when Angela leaves, the second girl turns around and lifts up her shirt.
Yeah, that's right.
Later that day, also, Allie was like, what did she say? Hold on. Like, who's gonna see me anyways or see them anyways? And then it cuts to those boys, one sitting on the guy's
Yeah.
shoulders. He has a Polaroid, and he's like, the tit patrol is. First, I laughed because it was a Polaroid camera.
Yes.
Later that day, Angela discovers Brooke and Jody, the two sisters, smoking marijuana and drinking alcohol. She initially let them go, only to find them fornicating with one of the boys the next day. Okay, so let's go back. Angela and Uncle John. First off, kids, if you're listening, don't ever trust an old man that tells you to call him uncle.
True story.
Yeah, especially one that's not related to you.
If you have not grown up with him in your life,
Yeah.
he's trying to touch you inappropriately. Okay,
Yeah,
don't call him uncle.
Yeah, this is a one-way road to being pedophiled.
Did
Like,
you
look,
say pedophiled?
just call me Uncle Jimmy. See how fucking creepy that sounds?
That's terrible. Never say that shit again.
That's creepy.
Oh my god. Pedophiled.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Uncle John makes her counselor of the week. We go to the pool. Sean is trying to put the moves on Molly,
Yes.
the nice girl. The camp whore, Allie. And when I say whore, I don't mean this in a bad way. Please don't take it as a bad way. Personally, one of my favorites.
How do
of the
you
movie.
not take whore in a bad way?
Obviously, the way you're taking it is a bad way, but that's not.
If there are many things you can call Allie, but whore is probably not the best.
You said, yeah. See, notice how you didn't say it was wrong. You just say not the best. Technically, I guess.
No,
because
if it was 1987, we'd probably be calling her a whore, and then we would realize that is an incredibly like shitty thing to call any woman.
Oh,
she's obviously having a mental crisis.
I actually thought about that for all the stuff that she does and goes through this movie. I'm like, this chick needs some therapy. Like, I'm not saying this derogatory. I meant this like she needs some serious. She needs
she's
hug
got
and
issues.
some real therapy.
Like, I'm concerned for her. Because I'm like, this is all just cries for help.
Oh yeah,
Like 100%. It's just cries for help, and
I don't know if they meant to write it that way, but yeah.
No, I have a feeling there's an absentee father. I have a
yeah. There's a few things
that there's a mother who focuses entirely too much on how much attention a man pays to you, and not like I feel like this girl needs therapy. So we can call her cries for help. Her crying for help ways. There we go. Instead of calling her a whore.
Doesn't have the same ring to it. But okay.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
And
you muted yourself. Did you even touch anything this time, or did you just like shake your head?
Because I'm trying to get everything ready as I go along. I must be touched, or
yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, it's.
There we go.
I touched this the wrong way. It's a loose connection, I think. All right, keep an eye on that.
Okay.
I'll look for you to go like this.
So that's the signal.
Yeah. Yeah, because what was I saying? Yes, we're talking about girls at a camp.
Mm.
All these girls they look old.
Can I tell you? It fucked me up because I thought
They're
in
not
the very beginning.
counselors.
Sorry?
I thought they were all counselors.
Me too. I thought they were all counselors. Like it was counselors sitting around the bonfire. It's the counselor's cabin. Like that's
Yeah,
what I really thought it was. And then when Angela gets announced as the counselor of the week, I'm like, "Oh my god, are these the fucking campers?"
yeah, that's what I thought. Look at Uncle Jimmy being all pedophiled. Because I honestly thought the first, right up until actually then, they're all counselors.
I
So
thought they
they're
were
in
all
their
counselors
20s.
too.
Yeah,
But
because they
no,
are all in their 20s.
don't get me
In
wrong. Camp counselors, usually you start being a counselor at like 17, 18.
Yeah,
Perfectly normal. But I'm like, very rarely do you see campers at 17 and 18.
yeah.
Like
And
16 is usually the most.
these 17 or 18-year-olds look like 25, 26-year-olds.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But Allie does have very voluminous hair. I
Yeah.
was like, that hair is very large.
Yep. Very 80s.
Oh, 100%.
So Sean is trying to put the moves on Molly, the nice girl.
Mhm.
Allie is like, I want Sean, manipulates poor, was it Rob,
I think it was Rob.
into throwing her into the pool wearing just a t-shirt. She pops up and those nipples are just coming right through that t-shirt.
Staring right at Sean.
Yep. And we learned in our trivia trivia part of last week, which is every Wednesday at 9 p.m. live on YouTube and Facebook and even Twitter. And we got
Hey, Emilio, party hats at 2 o'clock.
All right.
party hats at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, when I heard them say that, I was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, because
girl."
they cut out because they were in the state of Georgia, wouldn't let them say, "Hey, Emilio, check out those nips."
Yeah.
So they changed it, which I think is better. Party hats at 2.
It feels a lot younger.
Yeah.
Party hats. God bless. But I thought it was really funny because she comes out of the water, t-shirt sticking to her, see-through. Excuse me. Sean and Molly just kind of look back and they're like, "Okay, hey."
Yeah.
And then they go back to having a conversation.
And she looked very disappointed.
She looked so disappointed and I felt bad about that. And I was like, I wanted to be like, "Do you need to talk to a counselor? Because
Obviously, you're not
concerning."
one.
Yeah.
You're a camper.
Yeah.
Later that day, Angela discovers Brooke and Jody smoke. No, did I already do that? Yes, no. Yes, we're going back to that. Marijuana and
Yeah.
drinking alcohol. She initially let them go, only to find them fornicating the next day with the boys. A boy the next day. Angela chases the boy off. Afterward, Brooke wakes up on a grill because they're passed out and discovers Jody's charred remains in front of her. Angela then pours gasoline over Brooke and burns her to death. She said, "Let this be a lesson to you."
Yeah. The lesson is don't have a crazy counselor.
Yeah. Or don't do drugs and smoke and drink and fornicate.
Yes, but all of these like campers are in their 20s, so this just makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one of the sisters was passed out. So I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
they were both
Yeah.
fornicating.
She didn't even do anything. Well, I guess
She was
did
just
the drugs
napping.
and drinking.
Well, the drugs and
Alleged.
the drink, whatever. It's fine. She didn't. No, she did see them doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Angela's a rascal.
Yes.
Yeah. And she just keeps telling everybody, I had to send them home.
Yeah, that was the best.
Yeah. And to all you wannabe serial killers out there, this is not a sustainable method of killing by just
No.
telling people you had to send them home. Eventually, it's going to come and bite you in the ass.
I had to send them home. They were trying to sleep with everybody. That was basically the story for every single person. I had to send them home. They were trying to have sex. I don't know.
That night, the boys start a panty raid, which Angela breaks up. Angela is such a buzzkill, man. Again, more gratuitous nudity.
Of course. But I mean, at least this time it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, they interrupted. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're getting ready for bed.
Yeah.
It's not just, hello, here are my titties.
Yeah, there was a reason for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, during a jockstrap raid against the boys,
Mm,
Mare flashes her breasts. Angela decides to drive her home and murders her with an electric drill. To
yes.
be fair, Angela did ask her to stay, saying she thinks Mare just didn't think before flashing her boobies.
Yeah. But
And
Mare was like, "No, I'd rather go."
yeah, I'd rather die than apologize to you. She said, I just want an apology. I'd rather die. And you don't say that to
Yeah.
Angela.
No, no, because she'll take you at your word.
Yeah.
Be like, "Well, if you're not gonna apologize, then you must die."
And also the next morning, TC goes through a list of stuff missing from the camp, including
Mhm.
the electric drill and other things that will be used later for killing. I like TC. He
I
rocked
like
that
TC
mullet.
too. I was like, he was one of my favorites. I was like, "Sir, I hope you survive."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a lot like Ronnie from the first one, but he was
Yes.
no Ronnie. Ronnie was like so big and strong and formidable, just out there.
TC had thick thighs, okay? Let's not discount that. And also Sean had very nice abs. You don't get to see them very often though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Apparently not like
Only
everybody else's titties.
yeah, they were a lot more reserved on the boy end than they were in the first movie.
Mhm. There's just a whole lot of, "We're gonna cliche this."
Yeah. I wonder if short shorts were even considered crop tops. Uh the next night, campers Anthony and Judd tried to scare Angela, dressed as Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. The plan backfires when Angela, dressed as Leatherface, wearing Mare's skin. Oh, that's whose face it was.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Wearing
I
Mare's
figured that
skin
out
face
eventually.
as a mask, slashes Anthony's throat and murders Judd with a chainsaw. Why was Jason's machete fake, but the Freddy glove was real? Some serious disregard and safety there. All right. The next day, Angela sets a trap for Allie and forces her down an outhouse, drowning her in human waste and leeches.
That was super disgusting.
That fucking outhouse was abandoned for a long time. In reality, you wouldn't be able to get 100 yards of that thing.
No, but, I'd also like to point out that because I made a note about this, and it's probably my favorite thing about this entire movie, but the, like, ADR Foley for that scene, the squishing sounds and the water sounds and the
I
splashing sounds.
I put bonus points for really trying to make it look gross, which it did.
Yeah,
The cheesy way of putting her down the toilet from the point of view of the outhouse.
yes.
And then I have the sound effects of the squishy squirting sounds.
So amazing because I was like, "There is no way," because I don't think people have been using that outhouse. Nothing would still be soft in there,
No.
let alone wet.
Yeah. And it
But
was wet
okay,
and squishy.
and splashy.
Yeah, it was gross.
It was disgusting. It was absolutely disgusting, and it made me so nauseous I wanted to puke.
And I had to Google it after about the leeches. And all I could find out is that leeches can survive in pollution. So
Mm,
take that for what you will. But there was a lot of leeches on her.
yeah. Ugh.
And yeah, poor Allie bit the big one. That night, Demi reveals to Angela that she phoned the families of the campers sent home and discovered the girls aren't at home. Great scene. Usually never
Yeah.
happens in a horror movie. A little concerning that almost all the parents didn't give a shit about
Well,
the
they
kids.
all thought they were at camp,
Yeah,
and apparently all of their kids are assholes, so they're like, "Well, our kids aren't gonna write us,"
yeah,
because remember, this was back in the '80s when parents were totally fine with not hearing from you for 3 or 4 weeks.
yeah.
Nobody needed a daily text to be like, "Just tell me you're safe."
Nope.
No, they were like, "You're going to camp. You're gonna be gone for 4 weeks. Cool. We'll
Yeah.
see you on pickup day."
I remember going to visit my cousin and us being yelled at when that light comes on. Come
You come
and
home.
let us know. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
even then we were allowed back out, but we had to stay within the lights. Yeah, not today.
Oh god, no.
Realizing she could be caught, Angela strangles Demi with a guitar string before stabbing Lee to death when she finds Demi's body. Poor Lee just walked in at the wrong time.
Lee unfortunately made the mistake of saying, "Who locked the door? I'm gonna tell." If she had just not said, "I'm gonna tell,"
Yeah.
she would have lived.
Yeah, they would yeah,
But
yeah.
no, this
Yeah,
is
she
what you
was the
get for being a
tattletale from
narc.
the beginning though.
This is what you get for being a narc.
Yeah.
Snitches get stitches. Or, stabbed to death.
Or
Whatever.
stabbed to death, yeah. I did appreciate Angela looking for a weapon to kill Demi as Demi was telling her all the stories of calling in the
Yes.
missing campers and going through the motions of how she would kill Demi with like the
Yes.
boombox or the pencil,
Yeah.
like miming it out. That was
It was
awesome.
fantastic. It was fantastic.
And this is where a lot of people I think dislike the movie. It was a horror movie, but it was winking at the audience
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next day, head counselors Uncle John and TC fire Angela for sending too many campers home. Actually, Molly comes in the cabin that night and sees all the beds are empty.
Yeah.
Everything's gone.
And
Except
Angela's
for
like,
hers.
it's just me and you.
Yeah.
Like, that's not creepy. What?
And of course, that sets off a giant red flag for Molly. No, I'm just kidding. That silly bitch doesn't even question it.
She's like, cool.
Yeah. We'll still have
I'm
fun.
gonna go to bed now.
Okay. Every one of them was empty. So Angela's fired even after she promises not to do it anymore. Molly and Sean Whitmore, I guess his last name is Whitmore, go into the woods to cheer her up, but the pair discover the bodies of the other campers before Angela ties them up.
Mm-hmm.
Sean actually loses all credit of being a man, and because he falls to the ground crying and throwing up. I know everyone can't be a man's man like me, but come on. I'd scream so loud after seeing all those dead bodies.
Because they're all sitting around.
Yeah. Oh, it looked creepy. It did look creepy. Yeah.
Like they're at a jamboree. They're just hanging.
Yeah.
It's
I would
very
have been
weird.
throwing Molly into Angela and running like the wind. They'd hear me screaming 10 minutes away, right up until I got to the camp. After learning the whereabouts of Molly and Sean, TC goes after them. I really thought TC was going to save the day or anything, but I thought he's going to do more than he did because Angela throws battery acid in his face, killing him instantly. It wasn't really instantly, but
he screamed for a little bit and then he died.
Yeah. And she asks if he wants a second cup.
Yeah.
Like she throws out some confident one-liners.
She really does. It's concerning how at peace she is with what she's doing.
Oh yeah.
She's not even angry when she does it. She's just like, now you need to die.
Yeah. And like Sean's even like, you're twisted, you're sick. And she's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm not. They tested me. They said I'm cured. They wouldn't let me out if I was still.
They wouldn't have let me out unless I was cured.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you just passed the tests.
Okay. And Sean is decapitated after he realizes Angela is the murderer from the Camp Arawak incident 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Molly gets knocked out or passes out.
I don't think Molly gets knocked out or passes out.
Because she wakes up and Angela's like, look who's on TV. And she points to Sean's head inside the TV.
No, I think she just closed. Oh, maybe she passed out.
But I did like that when she put, look who's on TV.
Look who's on TV. And then it's just Sean's face.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, that's really good. Did they like actually stick Sean in there? Because I highly doubt they had a budget for special effects for this.
No. Could have been one of those
I have
things.
a feeling they just kind of put a TV on his head. Like, sit here.
Later, Angela leaves the cabin and Molly frees herself. Upon returning, Molly knocks Angela unconscious, steals her knife, and escapes. After an extended chase through the woods, Molly falls onto a rock and is presumed dead. After killing the remaining campers, I don't know how many people Angela killed, but it was impressive.
Yeah. She went through them all.
Yeah. Angela hitchhikes and gets picked up, but the driver quickly annoys her and she kills her.
Yep.
Angela's just gone off the rails.
She's just like, I don't like this. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. Molly regains consciousness and makes it out of the woods, and a truck pulls up behind her. And if you're just dying with anticipation, too bad, go watch the movie. No. Molly is horrified to learn that Angela is the driver, and she screams, and the movie is over.
Yes.
Anna's score.
Okay. I want to say rent it. And here's why. I feel like everybody needs to watch this movie for just the randomness that it is. And I
Mhm.
am not promising that it is a good movie, and I am not promising that it is a a masterpiece or even just passable as a quality movie, but this movie is an experience.
Yeah.
This movie has like I spent the entire time watching it, and sometimes I laughed, sometimes I wanted to puke, and sometimes I was like, "Wow, Angela's batshit crazy."
Yeah.
And, it's a very unnerving. It's an experience, and I need to be super clear, it's an experience. So
Much like
that's
the
why I say
first one.
rent it, much like the first one, but the first one was
A different experience,
a
definitely.
different experience. This is definitely a lighter experience, like, you're not gonna walk away from this being like, "I'm disturbed,"
Yeah.
but you'll walk away from this being like, "Oh my god, that one had a few laughs, and this was crazy, and I wonder what the next movie's gonna be like." Because the second one is so different from the first.
Yeah.
You're like, What are you gonna do next?" So I
Yeah.
say rent it.
And you could say rent it at a discount, or were you saying like it's worth a full?
I think it's worth a full $4.99. Now, if it's a $9.99 rental, leave it on the shelf, wait for it to stream. Mind
Yeah.
you, right now this is on Tubi, so by all means go watch it. Um, but yeah, if it was like 4 or $5, 100% rent it. I would not do premium rentals for this.
No.
No.
Hmm.
But like 4 or $5, make some popcorn, order a pizza, watch this movie, and revel at like just the absurdity of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but funny, but good, but not that good.
Yeah.
So weird. So
Okay.
weird.
My score. Sleepaway Camp 2, Unhappy Campers is not a bad sequel. I mean, it's a bad movie, but it's a 180 to the first Sleepaway Camp. There is no Ronnie and his co-star's penis. There is no Artie the pedophile cook, if you remember that guy. Although there is Uncle John. The creepiness that was all around the B movie original is not here in this movie. What is here is a bunch of mullets, boobies, and lots of kills. Some don't look too bad. If you love or like cheesy 80s B movies, you do not get more cheesy or B than this. There is some fun in this movie. I was never looking at whether or not it was going to be over soon. It was also 80 minutes. But it's not something I would watch again anytime soon, but I'm glad I did. It's very aware of itself. It is a horror movie, almost to the point of winking at the audience several times. It's aware that it's a low budget movie as well. It doesn't hide it, and yet it doesn't stop it from trying to give you kill after kill. Mullets, boobies, and gore. I would say I'm kind of in the same boat you are, where that if I rented this, I would not be disappointed.
Mhm.
Um, uh, but I where I'm gonna cheat and say I'm gonna say rent it at a discount. You know, Google and Apple has that $1.99 or 99
Yeah.
cent rental. Yes, that's what I'm gonna say. Discount rental.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was definitely an experience.
It's an experience, and especially if you've seen the first Sleepaway Camp,
Definitely, yeah,
definitely you need to watch this
yeah,
because technically it's the same character, and you're like, "This is what years of intensive therapy turned Angela into."
yeah.
And it's so ridiculous, and also, can I just say, like, kudos to Pamela Springsteen? She killed it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
No pun intended, but punny. She totally killed it as just the completely off center but rational killer who's like, "Well, of course, you were rude, therefore you must die.
yeah,
You showed your titties, you must die. Oh, what's that? You're talking smack about me, you must die." Like, and it's perfectly rational and reasonable to her. And then she sings Kumbaya. And this movie is an enigma.
Who's the guy from Scream and Austin Powers? Oh fuck, he's the son of Doctor Evil.
Seth
Jeez,
Green?
Seth Green. Thank you. Jeez,
He's not in Scream.
isn't he in the first Scream where he gives
No.
he says all the things about what not to do in the horror movie? Who's that
No.
guy?
That guy is oh, fuck, what is his name? I can't believe I forgot his name. He's a comedian. He was on Ghost Whisperer. Um, Oh, fuck, what is his name? Oh, shit. His character name is Randy. I can tell you
Yeah,
that. Um, hold on. I'm totally Jamie Kennedy.
Jamie Kennedy. Right, that's it.
Yes.
Jamie Kennedy. That character, that's Angela, but Angela is also the serial killer. So
Yes.
she's doing all the rules of a slasher movie, and she's killing you. She's the one actually doing all the killing. But this movie was fun enough that I want to see Sleepaway Camp 3.
Oh
Like,
God, yeah.
I can already see next summer's drive-ins of Sleepaway Camp 3, Leprechaun 3, Halloween 3,
All the threes.
all the threes. Oh,
Oh God.
all right. Could it be reimagined or rebooted today?
I think Sleepaway Camp as a concept can be reimagined and rebooted.
Yeah.
This particular movie in and of itself, nah, man.
No.
Also, you don't need to.
No.
Leave this where it is. Just let it live.
All right. So for the podcast, we hope you enjoyed our review of Halloween Resurrection and Sleepaway Camp 2 Unhappy Campers. Please check us out on Facebook or Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or whatever. And if you like to watch us, we are live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. Or you can watch the podcast on YouTube. And of course, listen to a new episode every Sunday where you got this episode. Yeah, for the this was way more. That's a drive-in special. This was a
Yeah.
very enjoyable drive-in special.
It
The
really
other
was.
two were not. They were enjoyable because we got to shit on those movies, but the actual enjoying it was it sucked. This was a
Yeah.
great one.
No, this was a surprising one. I didn't think I would. I knew I was going to have fun watching these movies. I didn't think I would like them as much as I did.
Yeah.
Like I shit on them a lot less than I thought I would.
All right. So thank you for listening to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Until the next movie we remember liking. And for those watching us live or later, after it is already over, we are going on intermission. And when we come back, The Principal. I've seen it. I remember liking it. And this is a first watch for Anna.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it. I'm like
So-
99% sure I haven't seen it.
All right. So we're going to go on break and we will be back.
It's intermission time, folks. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right over to our refreshment center for the most extravagant array of refreshment goodies ever assembled under one roof. Enjoy breathtaking, mouth-watering goodies. Everything from a snack to a delicious full meal. At our refreshment center, you'll find a large variety of goodies to satisfy your hunger, your thirst, or your sweet tooth. So hurry, hurry, hurry. Visit our refreshment center now. The show starts in 3 minutes. The show starts in 2 minutes. The show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
Yay. All right. Welcome back to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. If you are joining us, we are about to preview The Principal. I am looking forward to this movie. And
I always like a good movie about a school in trouble.
Okay, this was a little different. And I did say I have a special place in my heart for The Principal. I am a huge Jim Belushi fan.
Yeah.
I even went and saw the Blues Brothers with him and Dan Aykroyd and John Goodman a few years ago. I am a big Louis Gossett Jr. fan. And this is the first R-rated movie I snuck in to watch.
You rebel, you.
Yeah. Me and my friend saw a preview for The Principal and we're like, fuck yeah. We were so young. This came out in 1987. And it was weird, and I don't know why, but another Jim Belushi movie was playing in the theaters called Real Men with him and John Ritter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was rated PG. And I don't know what the studio was thinking that was a good idea. I don't know. So we got tickets to Real Men, which I saw a year later on HBO or something like that. I remember seeing it and being like, hey, that's the movie I was supposed to go and see. And actually, that movie I remember liking too. But we snuck into The Principal. Sat at the very back corner, horrible seats. Didn't want to look conspicuous. We looked like we should not be in there watching our movie.
Yeah.
But it was like an afternoon show on a weekend or something. It was an older theater. No one seemed to give a shit. It's not like we were on our cell phones or anything. But I remember it fairly well, or so I think. But super excited. I remember violent, funny, and cool. That could be a 10-year-old's memory, though. It was on TV every now and again. I never remember seeing it. I never remember seeing it on DVD, or I would have bought it. It came out in 2002 on DVD, but it wasn't a popular movie. So yeah, here's hoping. All right. So let's go over the box office. Sure. Now, it came out in September 18th, 1987.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta make that bigger. I can't read it. It came in fourth place behind Fatal Attraction, The Pickup Artist, and No, it didn't. Not Reign of Fire. Not in 1987. Okay, I got it somewhere. But it had an $11 million budget. It opened with almost 4.3. It had a domestic take of 19, international 7, and so it did okay.
Yeah.
First place was Fatal Attraction. Pickup Artist was number 2. Hellraiser actually was
Hellraiser.
Yeah, so these were all first week movies.
Yeah.
So it didn't really have that much of a chance. Okay, so let's go over some trivia. And actually, you know what? Because there are some big ones in here. There we go.
Okay.
So I can read it.
Appreciate you.
You could go first.
Oh, thank you. Michael Keaton was considered for the role of Rick Latimer, as was Gary Busey, who had to turn down the part because he was busy shooting Lethal Weapon.
Another good movie.
Good to know. Yeah, I love Lethal Weapon.
In this movie, Rick Latimer, James Belushi, is supposed to be much older than Victor Duncan, Michael Wright. In real life, they are less than 2 years apart in age. Belushi was born in June of 1954, and Wright was born in April of 1956. Yeah, Wright plays a high school student.
Damn. The Northgate High School in Walnut Creek, California, was used as the filming location for the school at the beginning of the film. Many students and teachers served as extras. After filming of the scenes were finished, Jim Belushi posed for a picture with everyone from that school. The picture was printed on the yearbook from that year. That's a cool memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I worked it that you got.
Sucker.
Oscar and Emmy Award-winning actor Louis Gossett Jr. stars in this picture as Jake Phillips, the tough, sharp-tongued security guard at Brendel High School. This film provided Gossett the opportunity to do what he enjoyed most those days, spend time around kids. Seeing him on ABC's Good Morning America, he said, "One of my pet projects is working with misdirected children. I like the fact that we're using kids from this area as extras. Many of them are misdirected, some are in gangs. They seem to have gotten some direction from this experience. For most of them, it's the first time anyone has come up and patted them on the back and said, 'Hey, that was great.' It's not unlike the story of the film." They hired many gang members to
Mhm.
graffiti stuff for them and do quite a bunch of stuff for them.
It's a good way to make sure your set is safe. The number of casts grew by 700 near the end of production for an assembly scene in which a riot breaks out among the students at Brandell High School. Security at the filming location of the old Merritt College campus in Oakland, in California, was tight, and searches were mandatory for all Bay Area students taking part in the scene. Scattered throughout the audience were about 20 stuntmen who were there to make sure everything flowed smoothly. Stunt coordinator Everett Creech recalled, "The challenge in this scene was not getting the fight started, but getting it stopped. We put our stunt people in the middle of it for the purpose of being able to control it. We shot the scene 12 times." Jesus.
Yeah. For director Christopher Kane, the look of the film was of paramount importance. Accordingly, he worked with his crew in achieving a look which, despite the fact that the film was shot in color, had the feel of black and white. The monochromatic texture was achieved not only through production design and camera lighting, but also through wardrobe. Primary colors were avoided, except during scenes occurring off school grounds, and clothes were dyed and aged accordingly.
Interesting. The production hired several members of the Oakland chapter of the Hells Angels as production assistants. They proved a tremendous asset, not only in controlling the students, but also in assembling the movie's cast.
Bunch of big bikers telling you get ready for it.
I love that they have Hells Angels members as production assistants.
Bet you they didn't ask them to get them a coffee.
Not a chance in hell.
At the old Merritt College campus building in Oakland, in California, production crew worked for 8 weeks, 16 hours a day, building a principal's office and renovating several classrooms, 2 bathrooms, a teacher's lounge, locker room, auditorium, and several hallways. Producer Thomas H. Broderick recalled, "When we arrived, there was no electricity, no heat, no light. It was raining and the dead of winter. The roof was flooded, the hallways were lakes, and the balcony was like a waterfall. It was a tremendous job just to make the place habitable."
I feel like that's entirely too much work.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever.
All right. So, trivia, let us go to the tail of the tape. If I can find it. There it is. All right. Now, The Principal is 1987 comedy drama, rated R, and comes in at a hefty 1 hour and 49 minutes.
Damn.
Taglines, buckle up.
I'm ready.
An educator who never plays by the rules, a high school where the only law is survival, will he break it before it breaks him?
That's stupid. I don't like that tagline.
Oh, I didn't add a poster to this one. Rick Latimer had nothing to lose until he was given the one job nobody else dared take.
Oh God, who wrote that?
To get this job, he had to be crazy. To survive it, he'll have to get even crazier.
No.
To tame the roughest, meanest, and wildest high school in the district, they needed an administrator who was rougher, meaner, and wilder. Enter Rick Latimer.
That is not a tagline.
At a high school where the students major in rioting, racketeering, and rumbling, one man who's never done anything by the book is about to lay down the law.
Also not a tagline. These are blurbs.
He's teaching the students at Brendel High 2 words, no more.
Jesus Christ, that's not a tagline either.
At a high school where the students major in arson, extortion, and assault, the new principal and the head of security just might be crazy enough to turn things around.
Jesus Christ.
Those
Those were all terrible. You know
yeah.
what would have been a proper tagline? No more.
No more. Which
You
is
know
the
what
basic
else?
motto of the movie.
They're crazy. He's crazier. That's a fucking tagline.
Yeah.
Who wrote this bullshit? Christ.
I think we got the gist of it from the taglines, but here's the synopsis. A down-on-his-luck high school teacher, James Belushi, is promoted to principal at Brendel High, a school where kids major in street fighting and gang intimidation instead of reading and writing. With the help of Brendel's head of security, the new principal fights the system and begins to teach lessons in human compassion and self-respect. But is it worth losing his life?
Yes.
Movie poster. For those listening, it has James Belushi, Louis Gossett Jr., Ray Dong Chong. She's in this movie as well.
Mhm.
I really liked her. They use, can I read it from here? Hold on. They use one of those giant taglines
It's at
on
a
the
high
movie
school
poster.
when the students major in arson. Wait, I can do this. I believe in me. Because I'm old. Arson something and assault. Maybe. The new principal and the head of security just might be crazy enough to
Turn things around.
turn things around. You got it.
Yeah, and they're at it's in a school, big giant window which is busted. You can see in the reflection of the window a bunch of look like gang members. Louis Gossett
Hooligans.
Jr. and Jim Belushi is standing at the broken window with a baseball bat. I like the poster.
I like the poster too.
I don't like the tagline.
No, the tagline is shit.
poster.
But the poster does the job that the tagline is supposed to do and give you the feel for the movie.
Yeah,
Because what they wrote is a bunch of bullshit.
and this is no more is that's what they should have.
That's what they should have gone with.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All right. Now I do have a special treat for us because I found it. I don't know if we'll get in trouble for using this.
I'm ready.
Uh-oh. No, that's the...
Did you fuck it up already?
Jim Belushi stars in our next movie as the principal, a high school teacher who is so down and out that he considers it a promotion when he's assigned to the worst school in town. Now, we've seen schools like this before in other movies, but never a school this bad. The whole school is a war zone of drugs, extortion, sex, and violence. And the way they get Belushi to take the job is simple. He's been arrested after getting drunk and swinging a baseball bat at a guy's car, and the school board offers him a simple choice.
What are you going to do? You going to fire me? You ask me to resign? What?
Neither. We want to make you a principal.
Where?
Brandel.
Why am I not excited about it, Frank?
Well, come from all over the district. Undet High, Crosby, El Roble, burglary, weapons charge, truant, all them nice things.
That's Lou Gossett Jr. as the high school security chief giving Belushi a guided tour. As the new principal, Belushi tests out a get tough policy aimed at people like the school's top drug dealer, played by Michael Wright.
I said sit down! Usher, you want to show this gentleman to his seat, please?
You talk too much.
Maybe sheer force will work. Belushi deputizes the physical education teachers.
Now look, I want these guys put on temporary payroll as security guards. What? They're being deputized. Give them some stinking badges, Darcy.
But they're teachers.
They're big teachers.
Unfortunately, those scenes give a slightly misleading impression of this
You
movie,
bet.
which has a great deal more violence in it
Mm-hmm.
than the clips that they would like to represent.
Well, the studio's
that
trying to
genre.
hide it from people that it is a violent film, I think.
The principal, though, I thought was a lot of fun to watch, although I'm not sure the best approach for a new principal is necessarily to physically beat up most of the troublesome students. I mean, in this movie, Belushi
Would go to
weighs
jail.
in there with a baseball. He would go to jail.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I'm surprised he didn't go to jail at the beginning of the movie before he got to be a principal. There's a scene where he even roars down the high school corridors on his motorcycle. Now, sure, he's trying to rescue Ray Dawn Chong from a savage attack, but that's still not something that you see a lot of principals doing, especially up the stairs in the motorcycle. But the movie strikes such an effective balance between violence and Belushi's brand of toughness, which is sort of funny and touching, that I liked it anyway. I thought it worked as the kind of movie that it is, and I give it thumbs up.
And I don't.
And you think probably that Fatal Attraction is a better movie, but I say
no
this
question.
movie is true to itself,
No.
and Fatal Attraction.
I remember watching those guys. They were pretty cool.
Oh, they were so great. And I
Yeah.
loved it when they disagreed because
yeah,
they
it
were
wasn't
always,
as fun when they agreed.
no,
Thumbs up.
when they
No.
agreed, they were just like, "Oh yeah, no, this was great. This was
Yeah.
great." But when they disagreed, it was a lot of like, "I'm gonna prove why you're wrong." So just wait for it. And then at the end of it, they'd be like, "Okay, great, next movie," and just move on. And I'm like, I miss that. I miss that.
All right, so we did box office, we did trivia, we did. Oh, here's my favorite. Actually, I'm going to do it the other way because there we go.
Appreciate you.
All right, so Rotten Tomatoes has 10 critics, and it's a 50-50. And it has just over 5,000 audience, and it comes up 51, just slightly better than 50-50. So these are fresh. You can start.
Thank you. I'd like to see Morgan Freeman take over this school. Michael A. Smith, Nolan's Pop Culture Review, original score 3 out of 5.
James Belushi is great in The Principal, whether he is giving a speech, throwing out a one-liner, or just raising an eyebrow. Douglas Pratt, DVD Laser, original score 3 out of 5.
An arresting drama starring likable Jim Belushi as an anti-hero principal trying to clean up a violent, drug-infested high school. Won't be a favorite of ACLU members. Chuck O'Leary, Fantastica Daily, original score 3 out of 5.
I know it looks like I just forgot to take out the original score. They're all 3 out of 5, the ones that did it. Violent, but still darkly humorous. Christopher Kane's The Principal takes the old new teacher comes to rough high school and takes out the garbage theme and adds Belushi's renowned sense of wit and likability. Caffeinated Clint, movie hole. All right, The Rotten. Go ahead.
Bypasses heartwarming stuff completely, going instead for macho yelling and simple 2-word slogans. Class dismissed. Ryan Cracknell, Apollo Guide, original score 63 out of 100.
I thought that was a good score, but
That's a pretty good score, actually.
yeah. What's wrong with a bit of macho yelling? Despite the Sybil-like plot and questionable Rambo mentality, there's something watchable about it all. Weird it is, flop it ain't. Desson Thompson, Washington Post, original score 5 out of 10. It's still it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. The principal almost has something to say about inner city high schools, public education in the 80s, and race relations. It never deals with these issues, and a good cast is abandoned in the parking lot. Thomas B. Harrison, Tampa Bay Times, original score 4 out of 10.
That's a bad review.
Yeah.
The Principal has no principle. It aspires to be a gritty look at a troubled inner city school, but despite all its tough talk and its seething students, it's a cornball fantasy. Hal Boddicker, the Miami Herald, 2.5 out of 10. Ooh.
That's harsh.
All right, IMDb, 13,000 user ratings, give it 5.5 out of 10. Let us start 10 through 6, positive user ratings. I just did that, so go ahead.
One of the best teacher takes over movies I've seen. 10 out of 10. Night Loyalty.
And they have made a lot of teachers take over.
They really have.
Yeah.
They really have.
Some of them are good, Lean on Me.
Yeah.
Some of them are bad, Dangerous Minds, Freedom. There's a lot of cheesy ones.
There's a lot of cheesy, also white savior ones, but
yeah. Stupid, but entertaining. 9 out of 10. Angela
Angels
Sunchain.
Unchained.
Unchained. Angels Unchained. That would have took me 3 more tries to get there. Angels Unchained.
That's what I'm here for. Dangerous Minds on Speed. 8 out of 10. Cinema love.
Yeah, that sells me right there. Lean on Me's moody, pessimistic older brother. 7 out of 10. Son of Mansfield.
That's fantastic. To Sir with Love meets Dirty Harry. 6 out of 10. El Chic. 4.
To Sir with Love. Isn't that Sidney Poitier?
Yes. So good.
Yeah. Okay. 5 to 1. These are not so good. An enjoyable but highly unrealistic film. Oh, it wasn't so bad. 5 out of 10. Uriah 43.
Uriah 43.
Uriah.
It's a bad movie, but at times you can see something good peeking through. 4 out of 10. Ted Forsyth.
No more. I don't think they mean it in a good way. 3 out of 10. Tuck Frump.
That's fucking amazing. Awfully Simple. Simply Awful. 2 out of 10. Red 125.
And Plain and Simple, this is a racist movie. 1 out of 10. Naps.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So there we go. So
Let us. It ends on just a straight up. This is a racist movie.
It's just racist.
It's just racist.
So we will watch the trailer here and then we'll make our predictions. All right.
Some people think Rick Latimer shouldn't be a teacher.
All right, bring him up. Linda, I want you wearing a bra to class.
Rick, grow up.
I'm trying.
And now he's been promoted to the bottom of the barrel. A war zone called Brandell High. His job? Principal.
Who do you think you are, Dirty Harry or somebody?
So you're the new principal.
Yes. Hi. Must be the captain of the debating team? No?
Come from all over the district. They even come with their own customs and traditions. Burglary, weapons, truants, all them nice things.
I want you guys to be comfortable here. I want you to think of the school as a home away from prison.
Man, do you know where you are? Ain't you heard what they say about this school?
His opposition, everybody.
No more gang intimidation, arson, robbery, rape, or whatever the hell you've been majoring in here. No more!
You talk too much.
Can you tell me what class this is for?
Any class Victor Duncan tries to kill me in.
This school here is my school. I make the rules.
I want these guys put on temporary payroll as security guards.
But they're teachers!
They're big teachers.
His allies, just one.
I'm glad you're here.
I know you're glad. You'd be dead by now.
They want to keep him out.
If you're trying to reach me, I just cut your hand off.
I got another one.
He wants
I want to make a school on it.
to keep them in.
Give me 5, I'll buy. Come on the side. Down low. Too slow. You can't just teach the easy ones and throw the rest in the garbage.
You're not the principal here anymore. And if you come back tomorrow and you try, you're going home in a body bag.
James Belushi.
I'll be here tomorrow.
And Louis Gossett Jr.
Hey, Rick. I'll be here too, man.
In The Principal.
Very 80s.
So 80s.
All right. What is your prediction for The Principal?
I think I'm going to like it, but I also think I'm going to think it's super cheesy.
I got that from the
from the down low too slow.
Like I said, I'm already biased because I do have a lot of good memories for and this is kind of when I put this on our list and we chose this one. This was one of those ones where I'm like, oh no. Like this was me and my buddy, our first R-rated movie that we snuck into, and it'll break my heart if it sucks.
Just setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah. All right. So, okay, that's our predictions. And with that, we are going to go watch The Principal and find out if it is indeed as good as I remember it, since Anna hasn't seen it. It is on Prime. So we don't have, that's great. For those listening or watching live, please watch The Principal sometime this week, and you can come back and see if you agree with us for the podcast. No, I just said that, didn't I? We are going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that is the podcast, and we are going to. Oh, I don't know what we're going to preview next week. It's our new list.
That's right.
That's what I wanted to ask you, if we should spread out the double features or put them near the end towards Halloween, or I honestly was going to break up those 3 movies and put shittier movies with them so we could watch The Haunting, House on Haunted Hill, and because then when you picked that, I'm like, damn it, I thought she was going to pick The Haunting. Now we got to watch Sleepy Hollow.
I know.
But then I'm
all
like,
3 of those
Sleepy
movies,
Hollow.
Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, then I kind of got excited that we're watching Sleepy Hollow.
Like it's and it's one that has developed a bit of a cult following.
Yeah, Tim
So I
Burton.
was like, it'll
very
be very
Halloweenish.
Yeah.
I think that should be our last.
Yeah, so I think that, but The Haunting and The House on Haunted Hill, both, I'm like, I remember loving those, and I've watched them probably in the last bare minimum like 5 years. Sleepy Hollow, it's been a long time since I see it.
Yes,
So
me too.
but I chose House on Haunted Hill because I was like, I remember that movie being unhinged. So I was like, I kind of want to see the unhinged movie again
Yeah.
because it's been a while.
Yeah. I would actually, for all the movies that were on that list, I wouldn't have been disappointed. Although we have a kids movie, I thought for sure you were going to pick Ernest.
No, man. No, I wasn't going to pick
Now we're watching. I haven't seen Haunted Mansion in a very long time. I love Eddie
Same.
Murphy. So yeah, there's a
Same.
lot of good movies there. So I'm not sure what we're previewing next week. But
that's the moral of this story. We
It
don't
is-
know what we're going to preview next week. So tune in next week to
Yeah.
find out with
Yeah.
us what we're
previewing. It'll be Halloweenish.
Yes.
The
We're heading
next-
into fall, even
we're
though
heading-
it's still technically summer.
Yeah, which kind of sucks because we'll be done 2 or 3 weeks before Halloween.
Yeah.
Which
I
means
mean, we
we'll
can
be-
always throw extra movies in there.
I mean, horror movies. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who the fuck's gonna stop us?
But our next 7 movies are all horror movies, and 3 of them are double features. Be nice to have a nice, comedy, maybe a drama. Cleanse the palate.
There's gotta be something.
Yeah.
There's gotta be something.
Yeah, and it's weird because when we're done with, say, Sleepy Hollow as our last movie, we are heading right into, we're getting very close to Christmas. Like we'll be planning for November, December movies.
Jesus.
Yeah, which is, I know, it's only fucking August. All right, that's our show. Tune in next week, or to see what we're gonna actually watch. It's gonna be Halloweenish. I know that.
Yes.
It's gonna be horrorish.
Yes.
Yeah.